I love that all of Latin America shows solidarity with Mexico by booing Emilia Perez.
È una grande honra stare aqui para entregar o prêmio de melhor filme internacional.
From the producers of Mexico is Latin America and Spain, and Dressed Like a Bullfighter and Sing Mariachi comes Emilia Perez. A film that didn't even deserve to be nominated for any award other than the Razzies, and not even that. It disrespects a culture, appropriates Mexican culture, doesn't respect the trans community, and none of the actresses are Mexican, and it doesn't count that they're Mexican or Latin descent when they were born in the United States and don't know anything about Latin culture. Of course, they did cast Mexican actresses because, according to the casting director, the main characters are Mexican. But she says they looked for actresses in Mexico, the United States, Spain, and all of Latin America. In the United States, there's not as much of a problem because there are Mexican immigrants. But Spain and other Latin American countries, well, there are also Mexican immigrants there. The point is that they wanted to choose people who spoke Spanish, so they're not even being consistent with the idea that the main characters are Mexican.
Tricky because Jesse, Rita, and Emilia, they were all Mexican characters. So we did a big search. We were open, and we did a big search in Mexico and in the US and in Spain and all Latin America. And then we wanted to keep it really authentic. But at the end of the day, the best actors who embodied these characters are the ones that are right here, right? So we had to figure out how to adjust authenticity, which I'm sure you ladies also said something, with the accents and, them not being necessarily native Mexican. It was a big search, and we saw a bunch of actresses everywhere. And for the role of Emilia, Jack wanted it to be authentic and wanted a trans actor to play the role. There was no question about that. So we stayed with that through the whole process.
Do they want actresses who play Mexicans but aren't from Mexico, who don't even know anything about Mexican culture? What I think happened here is that those Mexican actresses, both trans women and cisgender women, shared their perspective on Emilia Perez's transition and the offense to Mexico. The director didn't want to listen to those opinions because, according to him, he already knew everything about Mexico when he has no idea what it's like to live in Mexico, nor how a trans person self perceives, nor the processes of transitioning. I am basing this on what Morgana Love says.
¿Fue digno el trato que se le dio al personaje de Emilia Pérez en la película?
Digno.
¿Por qué?
No veo que sea tratada con dignidad. En cuestión artística, y eso como actriz lo veo, hay tomas, hay coreografías, hay música, etc. Pero otra cosa es cómo expresas eso. O sea, el hecho de que la mata, pues vuelve a reforzar una narrativa que estamos viviendo, sobre todo las mujeres trans en Latinoamérica. No, o sea, tienes razón, toda la gente está bien enojada por muchas razones, no nada más porque al final muere la mujer trans, sino al final santificas a un narco. ¿Cómo haces eso? ¿En qué momento?
El
¿En qué
dinero
mundo?
sucio que paga la transición.
O sea, el hombre moreno que se vuelve mujer blanca y ya es malo antes, pues ahora es buena como mujer blanca, ¿no? Entonces hay un montón de cosas que están mal en esa película. Pero no es digna, no es un trato digno a una mujer trans. Una narrativa que tenemos que responsabilizarnos de ella. Yo hice el casting para Emilia Pérez y cuando a mí me dijeron, es un hombre que se convierte en trans para escapar de la justicia, yo dije, a ver, ¿le podemos cambiar eso, por favor? Porque, perdón, pero las mujeres trans no somos
¿Y
hombres
qué
que
te
nos
respondieron
convertimos
cuando
en mujeres.
hiciste ese casting?
Pues no, me quedé en el casting.
Lo checo y te aviso.
Sí.
De haber dado Emilia Pérez a ti.
Basta.
Y debiste haber
Debiste
tenido esta
haber-
conversación con el director y tuvieron que haber hecho arreglos, Morgana. Estoy seguro que hubiera sido otra película.
Sí, claro.
No quería cambiarle porque él ya tiene su visión. Cada director quiere tiene muy claro cómo quiere que salga su película. Él quería mostrar eso. Si hubiera tal vez contratado a una actriz mexicana para sus 3 papeles principales, ninguna de nosotras hubiéramos dejado que pasara todo lo que está pasando, una agresión a nuestro país.
That's why they offered and kept the roles foreign actresses. And there was also a money issue. So they had to choose actresses with a certain reputation.
Con personajes mexicanos interpretados por extranjeros.
En un momento dado, perdónenme por lo vulgar, pero se impuso una cuestión de dinero.
Et qu'à un moment donné, il fallait que je trouve des comédiennes avec une certaine renommée. Et que la question qui se posait, c'était de pouvoir financer mon film. Voilà.
Zoe Saldaña and Selena Gomez are well known in the industry, but Carla Sofia, a renowned actress? I don't think so. The only one who could be considered a good actress will be Zoe Saldaña. Neither Selena nor Carla are. After seeing analysis of their performances and some scenes I have to watch involuntarily, I can say they're not good actresses at all. Carla tried to imitate the northern accent from Nuevo León. I think her character was from there. But mostly I could hear her Spanish accent. And she even spent 2 years in Mexico. Well, at least she tried. Unlike Selena, who didn't even attempt to speak Spanish and just justified by saying she didn't have enough time. Girl, you need to be professional. Hire someone to help you, at least with your pronunciation. Even if you don't understand what you're saying, at least say your lines correctly. Yeah, I haven't seen the movie and I don't plan to. I'm speaking based on what I've heard from other people and from real film critics. I'm not going to watch a movie by a man who dares to show stereotypes of a country, who didn't even bother to come and shoot in Mexico, mocking crime and disappearances, saying that the Spanish language is for poor and immigrant people when he has Spain as a neighbor and it's also part of the Romance languages like French.
Ça va chanter en espagnol, qui tombe sous le sens, voilà. Et à partir de ce moment-là, ça devenait international. Mais aussi là-dedans, c'était que l'espagnol est une langue de pays émergent. C'est une langue de pays modestes, ouais, de pauvres, de migrants, voilà. Je dois aussi.
And daring to say that thanks to his movie, there's more talk about disappearances in Mexico when people in the country have never stopped talking about it. Initially, I defend Carla Sofia, saying, well, she has spent time in Mexico. She knows what it's like to live here. But for that reason, she should have said something about the script or the plot. Not just how they wanted to represent Mexico, but also the trans community. Now, according to Zoe Saldaña, at no point was their intention to offend Mexican culture. According to her, they made the film with heart and a lot of love. And it's not about Mexico. It's about 4 women who could have been from different countries. But guess what, Zoe? To be able to tell the story of oppressed women, you have to learn about the culture of a country to understand why women are silent or attacked. Of course, they made a movie about a country and tried to portray why they think Mexico is. They didn't do it from the heart or from love. They did it from ignorance and lack of empathy. By the way, Adriana Paz, it's sad that you participated in this film. But the saddest part is that even after being a kidnapping victim, you still accepted to be in this film, after all. How would you feel if Latinos made a musical about the terrorists in France? Or more directed to Americans? How would you feel about a musical about school shootings? Mexico and all of Latin America deserve respect. We may be developing countries, but that doesn't give you the right to disrespect any culture. All countries are unsafe, but the film industry insists on showing that only Latin America is unsafe and that we are all criminals. Is the government involved in this? It's possible. Before I finish, this is how we get our photo taken for a Mexican university degree. We don't wear a gown or mortarboard.